Hello everyone. Today we have our lesson 1B, which is about simple present, and this is our class number 2. So let's begin. Okay, so we're gonna start with the grammar point. This is on your blue pages, and we have a little chart first with affirmative, negative questions and short answers, with the pronouns I, you, we, and they, and then the other with he, she, it. Remember that we use do and does for questions and don't and doesn't for negatives, okay? Also, we use the simple present for things we do every day, every week, every year, or for things that are generally true or always happen, like routines, okay, or facts. So here we have another chart with different verbs, and you add s or es depending on the verb. And also you have to pay attention to the pronunciation depending on the ending of these verbs. Already? Now you are going to listen to these phrases right here.
1.15.
I usually work at home.
My brother works in the city.
My parents don't live near here.
It doesn't often rain here.
Do you speak French? Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Does he like pop music? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't.
Okay, now we have the adverbs and expressions of frequency. We often use the simple present with adverbs of frequency like always, often, sometimes, usually, hardly ever, never, etc. And the adverbs go before the main verb or after the verb to be. Okay, remember this. This is very important. And some of the expressions of frequency are every day, once a week, etc. They usually go at the end of the sentence. Now you are going to listen to these phrases right here, or these sentences.
1.16. 1.
We often go out on Friday night.
She doesn't usually study on weekends.
I'm never sick.
He's always late for work. 2.
She gets up early every day.
We have English classes twice a week.
Okay, so this is the activity for the grammar bank, and you have to write sentences and questions with the simple present. Pay attention to the sign here. Like in number 1, you will have to write a question, but here in the example, it's going to be an affirmative. So you need to check what is the subject in order to change the verb, okay? You have he, and then the rest of the sentence, this is how it goes. He usually gets up late. Entonces, como es tercera persona, aquí le van a agregar la S al verbo, ¿ok? Y vean en qué lugar va a ir el adverbio. That is very important. So right now, pause the video, please, so you can do this on your notebook. Does Anna like music? My sister has a lot of hobbies. I don't get along very well with my parents. My brother studies English at school. My neighbors don't have any children. What time does the movie start? He goes out twice a week. We don't often talk about politics. How often do you see your brother? Sully doesn't go on Facebook very often. Okay, now on part B, you have to put the words in the correct order. Pay attention to the adverbs and the expressions of frequency. Again, you can do this part on your notebook. Okay, let's check the order of these sentences. I always go to bed before 11. Kate hardly ever sees her family. We never go shopping on Saturday. I go to the dentist twice a year. I sometimes have breakfast in bed. I usually listen to the radio in the car. Alan runs in the park every day. Sam is often late for work. John doesn't go often to the movies. I visit my mom once a month. Okay, now I'm going to explain the main lesson, which is on page 8. And this is the perfect date. That's the topic. We're going to see vocabulary of describing people in appearance and personality right here. And the pronunciation the pronunciation of S and ES. Okay, so first of all, we have vocabulary and reading, which is describing people. Van a escuchar primero este audio with 3 women describing their fathers. Which one is Charlotte? Y en esta parte van a escribir la respuesta, van a escuchar los audios de 3 mujeres y ustedes deben de identificar de acuerdo a las fotos que tienen aquí en la parte de abajo cuál de ellas es Charlotte, la número 1, la 2 o la 3. Posteriormente escucharán este audio aquí. Dice, listen to Charlotte again. What adjectives does she use to describe her father's height? Hair, weight, and smile. ¿Ok? ¿Qué adjetivos utiliza? Ya depende de ustedes cómo se organicen, si lo anotan aquí mismo en la página o lo van anotando en la libreta. Si lo hacen en su libreta, por favor especifiquen de qué actividad es, para yo también ubicar eso en el libro y poderlo revisar. Por ejemplo, si van a poner aquí de la parte B en la libreta, entonces pondrían 1, Vocabulary and Reading, y después el inciso B y sus respuestas. Ok, de esa manera para mí es más fácil revisarlo. O si lo hacen aquí mismo en el libro, lo pueden hacer. Si es que tienen la letra pequeña y creen que tienen suficiente espacio ahí, por mí no hay problema. Ya depende de ustedes cómo se organicen. Ok, después de eso, bueno, aquí tienen la parte del vocabulario que por ahí ya la van a ver en el PDF que les compartí en la asignación. Esa también la van a realizar y también van a tener ahí los audios del vocabulario para que practiquen la pronunciación. On D, you have to read the article about her father and then find the information about Clint, así se llama el señor. ¿Qué información van a encontrar? His age, his job, his marital status, his personality, and his perfect partner. Esto lo pueden subrayar ahí mismo en el texto. ¿Ok? De esa manera yo voy a saber que ya encontraron esa información. And then you have to answer some questions. Pero esas preguntas ya las contestarán después de que escuchen los audios.
(1.11) 1. My dad's very tall and thin, with a big nose. He looks a little bit like a tall, thin bird. He has blonde hair and blue eyes, which is typical of Sweden. His grandmother was from Sweden. He looks a little bit serious, but he isn't really. He's very funny. He has a great sense of humor.
2. I think my dad's very good looking. He's not very tall, a little bit taller than me, and he still has his hair. It was dark, but it's gray now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats, and he has an amazing smile.
3. My dad's short and thin, and he wears glasses. He isn't exactly good-looking, but he's not unattractive either. He's very friendly and very talkative. In fact, he never stops talking.
1.12
I think my dad's very good looking. He's not very tall, a little bit taller than me, and he still has his hair. It was dark, but it's gray now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats, and he has an amazing smile.
Ok, ahora sí vamos a poner atención a las preguntas que tenemos aquí, que son 4. Why does Charlotte want to find Clint a partner? 2. How do we know that Charlotte and Clint are close? 3. What was dating like when Clint was young? And 4. How does Clint find dates now and how has Charlotte helped him? Okay, again, you can answer these on your notebook or here if you think you have space. Then on part F, you have highlighted words. Here we have fun and here we have funny. Remember that these are different, so choose one and write them depending on the definition. A person who makes you laugh or a person who you can have a good time with. These are the words fun and funny. Do you think Charlotte is the best person to help find her dad a date? Why? This is a personal question, so they're asking about your opinion. And again, you can answer it here. Okay, then on the next page, from the student book main lesson, we have the grammar, which I already explained at the beginning. So you can complete this chart. Okay, look at the example with the first and second person, and then you have to complete with the third person with the verb here. Okay, and in this part, well, you have to do both. On B, check the correct sentences. Here, only the ones that are correct, okay? This part you already did it on your notebook. And in a little I will show you about the pronunciation and speaking. Nos vamos a ir a la parte 4 where you have the listening And you have to listen to Elspeth Gordon. Así es el nombre, es correcto. She's a journalist and she's talking about dating experiments. Answer the questions. Tienen aquí las 4 preguntas para el audio que van a escuchar. Posteriormente tienen otro que lo van a tener enseguida. Dice, listen to Elspeth describe her first 2 dates. What does she think of her mom's choices? And then in this part, you have to write the J for John or S for Sebastian. Ok, dependiendo a cuál se está refiriendo, aquí lo van a poner la inicial de esa persona. And after that, you will have another audio. Recuerden que aquí nada más yo les estoy explicando la lección para que ustedes la vayan realizando. Que ya si tienen dudas, las pueden anotar y ya lo vemos en la sesión de dudas. ¿Ok?
1.19. One point 20. One point 21. 1.21.
Date 3. Date number 3 is George. He suggests a restaurant near the river. I arrive early. I'm definitely the most punctual person in the world. I stand outside, very confused. The restaurant is closed. For a moment, I think Mom finally got it wrong. But a few minutes later, he arrives. He just didn't know the restaurant was closed. We go somewhere else and start chatting. He tells me he works in IT and is from just outside the city. This guy is a lot of fun. He's very relaxed and interesting. He's traveled a lot. He tells a lot of funny stories. It's all going well, and I'm getting very enthusiastic when my phone pings.
Ok, se van a quedar en suspenso por un momento en lo que vemos esta parte de pronunciación, where you have to listen and repeat los sonidos de la S, like snake, and Z, like in zebra, and is, as in uses. Ok, son 3 diferentes sonidos y es lo que van a escuchar.
One 1.17. Snake. S.
Okay, now in part B, how do you say the he or she or it from these verbs and the plural of these nouns? You have to listen and check if you are correct. Tenemos estos verbos. ¿Cómo creen que sería la pronunciación? Si le agregamos S, si fuera para tercera persona, y la pronunciación de estos sustantivos en plural. ¿Ok? Díganlo antes de que escuchen el audio para que revisen si lo dijeron correcto.
One 1.18.
Chooses. Cooks. Goes. Lives. Stops.
Muy bien, ahora sí vamos a escuchar qué fue lo que pasó con Elspeth y contestan estas preguntas. Were you right? How does Elspeth feel? Do you think they have a second date? And then this also, do you think a member of your family could choose a good date for you? Do you think you could choose one for them?
One 1.22.
Por último tenemos la actividad de speaking and writing. Por esta ocasión el audio va a ser individual. ¿Ok? Ahorita les explico. Dice aquí, think of a single person you know well, a family member or friend. Look at the form below and prepare to give this information about him or her. Dependiendo de la persona que elijan, de preferencia que sea alguien que conocen bien para que puedan completar esta tablita. Dice name, the relationship, if he or she is single, divorced or separated, appearance, likes, personality, doesn't like, age and job. Aquí en personality pues tienen el signo más, cualidades, y el signo menos, defectos, ¿ok? ¿De qué manera van a hablar de esta persona? Aquí ya les están dando un ejemplo. His name's Mario and he's single. He's about 30 years old. También pueden tomar como ejemplo la descripción de la página anterior donde Charlotte habla de su papá. ¿Ok? Vean ahí cuáles son las frases que pueden utilizar para que describan a esta persona que van a elegir para esta actividad. ¿Ok? Ya que tengan la información, ustedes esto es lo que van a mandar de audio. Es como si estuvieran platicando de esa persona, diciendo cómo es, qué le gusta, qué no le gusta, también cómo es físicamente, no nada más de la personalidad, su edad, en qué trabaja. Already? And then you have a writing activity, que está aquí en la parte de abajo. Primero empiezan con esta persona que ya les están dando aquí de ejemplo. Dice, describing yourself. Read Charlie's profile and answer the questions. Aquí tienen, what's Charlie's real name? Where's he from? What does he do? Who does he live with? What does he look like? What's he like? And what does he do in his free time? La número 3, what does he do? Se refiere a qué se dedica. Número 5, what does he look like? Es cómo es físicamente. Y la pregunta número 6, what's he like? Se refiere a cómo es, pero en cuestión de su personalidad. ¿Ok? Then you have, it says, read the profile again. The computer has found 10 mistakes. They are grammar, punctuation, or spelling mistakes. Can you correct them? Tiene errores gramaticales que puede ser de estructura, punctuation, signos de puntuación, and spelling, que sería de ortografía. Ya los tienen identificados, ustedes hay que corregirlos nada más. And then add the highlighted phrases from the profile. For each paragraph you have this, which you have to complete the chart. Let me show you. Tienen ahí este cuadro que lo van a completar de acuerdo a la información que viene de este perfil, ¿ok? Fíjense bien que tiene 5 párrafos, ¿ok? Entonces aquí en el primero ya les están dando de cuál es el contenido. Dice name, age, and nationality, ¿ok? Ustedes deben de completar el cuadro de acuerdo primero al contenido y cuáles son las frases que tiene esa información. En la tercera columna ustedes van a completar su información. Ahí este cuadro les va a servir para que ustedes puedan hacer el escrito de esta actividad. El escrito va a ser como este, con 5 párrafos. Fíjense que es muy sencillo. Por ejemplo, aquí el primero son 3 renglones nada más. ¿Por qué? Porque está cubriendo nada más la información que le están pidiendo aquí, nombre, edad y nacionalidad. Pero sí debe de utilizar las frases. Ok, chicos, pues para esta lección 1B van a enviar el PDF que les envié. Vienen las 2 páginas de la lección principal, el vocabulario y el writing, the writing activity. Ok, sería este PDF el que van a entregar y el audio que van a enviar también con la descripción de un familiar o de un amigo, dependiendo de lo que ustedes elijan. So that is everything for today. Remember, if you have any question or doubts, you can always send me a message. All right? Goodbye.